Today on Dr. Phil.
Lizzie had her bat mitzvah at the Four Seasons. It was probably close to $1 million.
For a party for a 13-year-old?
Radical parenting from one extreme.
She has bodyguards for both of her children.
And the monkey.
To the other.
Don't eat anything from a box or a can. Can't talk on the phone to friends. Can't read Harry Potter.
If we're playing a card game, if they lose, they do push-ups.
Are you raising children or soldiers? Let's do it. If we're going to do something here that matters, then we got to deal with the truth.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
If I can help get this family back on track, are you willing to do that?
Ready, three, take.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. Go, Dr. Phil. How you doing? Well, you know, recently a family made headlines when they declared they were going to raise their baby as genderless. The question is this: are these parenting strategies really unconventional? Or are they in the best interest of the children, even though they may not be what everybody else is doing? For instance, Sarge and Joy admit using military techniques and positive affirmations to parent their kids, while Cheryl says she allows her 5-year-old son Dyson to wear princess dresses and sparkles. Now, are these parent strategies wrong? Are they unhealthy, misguided? Or are they based on sound thinking that really put the child's interest at heart, even though it may not be mainstream? We'll talk about all of that today, but first, Lana admits that she motivates her 18-year-old son Lawrence and 13-year-old daughter Lizzie to get better grades with extravagant gifts, including a $10,000 painting, a penthouse apartment, and a bar mitzvah that cost almost $1 million. Take a look.
Let me show you where my baby lives. This is the Lawrence wing.
My sister Lana super spoils her children to the point of no return.
This is more of a kids' theater with all kinds of fun things for them to do. My parenting style can be best described as loving and effective. I believe in motivating my children by providing them with a very lavish lifestyle. If they do well in school, if they do their chores, they can have a trip to Africa, they can go to Paris. This is Lizzie's room. My daughter's name is Lizzie, and she's 13.
Lizzie is super privileged.
She got cooking lessons in Italy, trips to Milan, and a very beautiful painting for her room. That was about $10,000, but she earned it. Recently, Lizzie had her bat mitzvah. It was at the Four Seasons. We had celebrities, and probably close to $1 million.
My sister and I spent weeks flying all over to find 12 gowns for her.
I don't think my daughter's spoiled. I think she's indulged. This is where my baby sleeps and does his homework. My son's name is Lawrence. He is 18. Today is actually the first week that he's away in college. This is one of his bathrooms. He has a dorm, but he can't really study when it's loud. So he also has a beautiful penthouse 2.6 miles away from school.
My nephew has his own full-time pilots and access to a plane. That's crazy.
Both children have bodyguards. My daughter can't go anywhere without a bodyguard if I'm not there.
I call my sister a mommy tampon because she tends to shove herself into every nook and cranny orifice of their lives.
I had an idea, a Cartier-type bracelet on my children with a little GPS bug. Kiss mama.
Good boy, Lily. My sister has a pet monkey named Mikey. The monkey has his own full-time live-in and butler.
Freddie, did you wash him already?
Mikey has his own jewelry collection. He's so spoiled. The monkey is not allowed to go anywhere without security either.
I think I'm a great parent. If somebody wants to know why I spend money, because I can. Peekaboo.
Okay, so you said mommy tampon?
Because she uses mind control, an extreme amount of money, and bodyguards up, you know what, to just shove herself into every aspect of her children's lives.
You're saying that she has bodyguards for both of her children?
And the monkey.
And the monkey.
And these people...
You have a monkey, is it an ape? Or
No, but that's a great idea.
it could be. You could get a big ape to go around with a monkey.
No, just a big buff guy.
So what are these bodyguards or spies? Are they
think of
bodyguards
them-
or babysitters?
I think of them more as bodyguards / chaperones. Because my son, for example, who is in college now, is only 18, and I don't think that an 18-year-old is prepared to make good choices all the time. So what they do is they kind of keep an eye on what they're doing and help to
Where
guide
they're
them
going,
to
who
make
they
better
see,
choices.
what they eat.
So you don't have a lot of confidence in your children?
I have a lot of confidence in myself and in my children. It's just the rest of the world that I don't have confidence in.
And so you think that they would get involved in, what, drugs, drinking, bad places that they don't need to be, or?
Because of what I do, because of Billionaire Mafia, I deal with young people all the time, and I know
Well,
how
now,
easy
you
it is to
explain
get caught
what
up.
Billionaire Mafia is. I want people to think you're in the mafia.
Oh, no. I own a fashion design house, and the brand is called Billionaire Mafia, and a record label. And because of that, I deal with a lot of young people, and I know how easy it is to progress from weed to pills to meth to all kinds of things. And so at 18, I just think that they need a lot more guidance.
For Lawrence, you got him a 2-bedroom penthouse when he got into USC. And then you also got him a dorm room at
Right.
USC. So he has the college experience,
Exactly.
but has a place to go if he wants to get away from the college
Right.
experience.
Get
And
away
have
from
some
what?
peace and quiet to study, because in a dorm where there are 7 other kids, it's very difficult to study.
There is not a dorm in this country that bunks 7 children.
In my son's dorm,
Probably 2, maybe 4 at the most.
in my son's
Come on
dorm,
now.
there are 7 kids.
I know it is beneath the standards of the
If there's
lifestyle
7
that he
kids.
is accustomed to, but like really, a penthouse with, you know, VIP concierge, dry cleaners, maid service. I mean, and hold on, please, the grandparents are on standby because they live in San Diego, so you know they're only a minute 0.5 away.
Okay, so, all right, and so you also have, you got him like 2 flat screen TVs side by side so he can watch sports on one and play video games on the other?
Yes.
Because you don't want him having to switch. And you give him $2,000 a month spending money for your
Yes.
daughter, Alexander McQueen bags. I don't know what that is, but I assume
good
that's
stuff.
Good
Really
stuff.
good stuff.
All right. Cooking classes in Italy, $10,000 painting, a pink tricked out handgun. You have them take a life assessment test every 3 months?
Yes, because I know what's out there and because I try to be a proactive parent. About 3 years ago, I discovered something called the Ultimate Life Tool, which is amazing. It's a human assessment technology that really allows you to see the true nature of your child.
You did this bar mitzvah. It was a skiing and winter wonderland
For my
theme.
son.
And it was at the Four Seasons in Vegas.
Yes.
And it cost approaching $1 million for a party for a 13-year-old?
Don't you have great parties for your children?
I give them a cupcake and tell them to get out of the house.
Really? I'm glad I'm not your kid.
You say you're glad you're not my kid? I wish I was yours. So 14th and 15th birthdays, you threw San Tropez theme parties for them. So these are like
They're
big
amazing.
parties.
They're over the top, and we have a lot of fun doing them.
Yeah.
But my children earn their parties. They're really good kids, and they earn it via grades. They're straight A students. They're responsible. They're respectful. They're kind. They're caring. They're
Do you-
amazing kids.
If they don't do as well, do you cut back and just spend like $750 on a party or something?
You know, I don't really think it's about what we give our children as much as the choices we teach them to make and how much time we spend and the love and affection and all the other things. But yes, in answer to your question, if they
Dr.
don't get
Phil,
straight
that
A's,
cake
then...
was over 900 pounds. I mean,
But it was
really
fabulous.
Fabulous, but like 900 pounds.
But here's the deal. The parties are not as much for them as they are for me and my husband, and we enjoy it, so why not? I
Because-
work hard, I earn my money, therefore I spend it. So who can say what?
But again, that's your money. You're just
I
giving
do,
it to them.
And
What
I
are
also
you...
do charity work, and I do all kinds
Okay,
of
but
things.
what are
so why
they
not?
doing? They're just earning grades right now.
Exactly, but they're also they're also learning about motivation and about hard work and good education, and what they have to aspire to later on.
More security guards.
Well, here's some of what, here's what your sister said. She said, I like to control who my daughter is with at all times.
Yes.
You said, I want to be able to GPS my kids, but my husband said no.
Yeah, he kind of.
He drew the line on
Yeah,
that.
didn't happen.
A lot of parents are psycho, so my kids can't spend the night at other homes. You say to your sister, who's critical of you, you say, my sister is a mess. She parties late at night and dresses like a slut. And she's always doing the wrong thing with the wrong guys
And looking for herself in all the wrong places.
and looking for
For herself in all the wrong
Yeah.
places.
So,
Well, though I do appreciate her taking the time to voice her opinion, I'm going to go ahead and take a moment and voice mine to comment on her comments.
We're on our way to do the Dr. Phil show, and this is our very humble accommodation and transportation. It's a starter plane. It's okay. It's like a Toyota. It'll do. Here we go. So I was trying to convince my husband to marry me again.
What,
That was
14th
being
time?
yes. I love being a bride. Are you kidding? But I haven't sold him on it. We had like 4 weddings so far. See you tomorrow, Dr. Phil.
Though I do appreciate her taking the time to voice her opinion, I'm going to go ahead and take a moment and voice mine to comment on her comments. So here's what I think. Don't hate me because you ain't me. You know what I mean? I'm younger. I don't have a husband. I have 2 wonderful young kids. So if I can party all night and make it to work, I'm not going to lie and say 5 days out
Make
of
it to
5.
work. You don't show up to work. Twice a week, maybe, for 2 hours while doing
Where-
your makeup.
where do you
That's not
work?
showing up to work.
I work for my
me.
sister.
you work for her?
Yes. So she does not show up to work.
It's
My
beyond
children
extreme.
are going to be
It's
great and
beyond.
contributing members to society,
You're
not
affecting my
degenerates doing
kids.
drugs.
My 11-year-old doesn't want to brush his teeth before starting junior high. He's like, why, Mom? I'm just going to play
But what does
the
that have
Billionaire
to-
Mafia card with the
What does
chickies.
that have to do with me? That's your
Why? Because
parenting.
it's not my parenting. It's
I
what
don't raise
you...
your children, honey. I just raise mine.
He's gonna play the billionaire mafia card with the chickies?
Yeah, he's starting junior high school, so we had a conversation about the importance of, hygiene, how we can't lie about brushing our teeth, but really do it. And he goes, Mom, please, I'm saving the Billionaire Mafia card for the chickies in junior high. Or my daughter, who's supposed to start on Monday at kindergarten, she wants to be the new Selena Gomez. She wants to just sing, dance, and act. She
You need
just
to
turned
take your kids-
5.
They need
Do you
to
have a
take the
son?
test.
My kids have taken the test. You need to take the test because you have bought them every video game system, arcade, iPad.
But I'm
Again,
entitled
her
to
monkey
it. I'm
has 2
their
cribs,
godmother.
please.
Okay, do you...
A full-time
Do you have a
nanny and a
son?
butler. I do.
And
I have a son.
He didn't want to try out for the basketball team,
It was actually soccer.
soccer, and he said what?
Well, he couldn't understand. He thought it was fair to try out once, maybe twice. But when he was called back several times, he's like, this is completely ridiculous. Don't they know who I am and who my auntie is? I mean,
That's not my
they
fault.
can
Even
buy
my
the.
children don't
she
do
said,
this.
you know what, Mommy? Seriously, she's going to buy the league if they keep
Well,
this
you must
up.
be a force
That's
of
a
nature.
problem.
But I don't even.
And
yeah,
he's
I am.
wonderful,
But I
but-
wouldn't do that. Even my own kids are humble. They would never say that. They work hard and they compete
Humble?
and they do things. Yes, they are.
Humble. They are wonderful, amazing kids, and I love them. But I'm not going to say that humble bestly describes
Okay,
them.
there's some... Let's take a look. This is a piece that's going to talk about jealousy. Take a look.
My sister spoils her kids in ways that even the Trumps of the world don't. I want to be as spoiled as they are.
My sister swears that I ruined her life. She thinks that I'm perfect and she couldn't keep up with me, so she kind of went the other way.
I bet Thanksgiving, do y'all get together for big
Yes.
parties and stuff? Do you bicker?
Maybe we can launch a whole other season for you, Dr. Phil, with that episode. Because I
I
have to
think we
tell you,
have.
we have a good
We
time.
fight and we really fight, but then we also make up
She
in about
wants-
an hour or less. So.
She wants to rule the world and have everybody only do and say and speak the way she wants. And you know what? I'm going to either break every rule that she implements because I think they're beyond extreme
She's
and
a
out of
typical
control, or
middle
I'm going to
child.
die trying.
You're an out-of-control middle child, you say?
She's an out-of-control middle child because there's me and there's my little brother, and so I just think that she never got enough attention.
Do you indulge yourself?
Very
you indulge
much
your
so.
children? Do you
is
indulge
this
yourself?
about
I
maybe-
try to deny
I know what
myself
this is
nothing.
about.
I'm sorry?
I try to deny myself nothing.
Deny
She's
yourself nothing.
pissed because
I work
I got
very
more
hard.
attention because I'm better looking when I came along. Tell the truth, it's all
Liar,
right.
and I look younger than
You
you.
were
I just want
hoping
you to
I
know
was
that.
a boy and I came out and you were
No.
straight disgusted.
I told mom and
You were
dad you should have been an
disgusted.
abortion. I didn't even want siblings.
You know what? But after you, they wanted to try again.
No, I
And
was
here we
perfect.
are.
They just wanted to repeat it.
I got to take another look at this monkey. I want to see... Mikey the monkey has a butler, a nanny, and a chef.
And a
Really?
trust fund.
A trust fund.
Yes.
A butler, a
Full-time.
nanny, and a chef. So let's take a look.
Are you ticklish? I love you. The monkey's lifespan is about 40 years, so technically, yes, by next year he should be having a bar mitzvah. Gotta bring that up with my husband.
Okay, now you were telling the producers backstage that Mikey the monkey speaks like 3 languages. Mm-hmm. What 3 are those?
Spanish, English, and Russian, of course.
Let me just give you some food for thought, and just think about it. I'm not going to try to persuade you to my way of thinking because I know better. If you pay your children or give them massive rewards for performance, that's what we call external or extrinsic motivation. And the higher the extrinsic motivation, the less the intrinsic or internal motivation. So a child is not going to develop a thirst for knowledge, interest in learning, if he's actually doing it to get this thing over here. And when that goes away, there's no internal motivation there. That's a real problem with indulged children. Do you worry about that?
I disagree because I see that a lot of kids, especially...
You disagree?
Yes, I do.
But I'm not trying to convince you, but I'm saying I really want you to consider this because the research on this is pretty overwhelming.
I understand, but what I also like to say is there are so many children dropping out of school because they have no motivation and going to the streets and doing drugs and really not even doing anything with their lives, when my way, at least at this point, it's proven and it's verified. My kids are good, they stay in school, they do what they're supposed to, and I really have no reason to think that they're going to grow up and be anything other than what they are right now. So it seems to be working for me.
So this is working for you?
Yeah, it doesn't have to work for anybody. For everybody,
you think it's
but it
not
works for
working?
me.
You think there are problems that are going to rear their ugly head?
She just wants to be in their place and have a trust fund instead of the monkey. I get her.
Here's the deal. I am an adult. You are not raising me. I know you think you are, but you're not. So I can handle it. Them, not so much. Again, they are great kids.
Okay.
But she's not an expert in
why
math
is she not? She's not even giving them a chance to fail. Maybe if they fail, let's say one time, somewhere little, like getting a traffic ticket at 18, maybe at 36. You see, it's just she's not giving.
Her opinion is useless to me.
It's useless to you. I get it.
Well, right back at you, sister.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a break. I'm going to talk to some other people. We're going to talk about different parenting strategies, and I want to hear what y'all think about this next parenting strategy and what they think about you. We're just going to have just kind of a parent-a-thon here. Next, we're going to meet a couple, going to add them to the conversation, that say their military-style parenting, which includes being on a 24/7 strict daily schedule, having snacks only 3 days a month, and not reading Harry Potter books, as an example, will give their kids a better chance at life. Are they right because they're keeping them from a lot of really bad influences out there, or could there be problems with that? We'll talk about that when we come back.
I'm a military guy. Down, up. I make the rules, and my wife enforces.
A cluttered room is a cluttered mind. Your first day of middle school, you're not going to be distracted. Your lunch is not going to drain you and make you tired. You're going to be highly, highly focused.
Like 80% raw fruit and vegetable diet, spankings, limited friendships, and push-ups. It may sound like I'm talking about an intense military boot camp, but I'm really describing the parenting style of my next guest. Take a look.
I'm a military guy. My parenting style is order and discipline. I make the rules, and my wife enforces them.
I'll come back to do a double check in about 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes to make it look like new money in here. They cannot read Harry Potter books or anything about ghosts, witchcraft, scary. We only want them to read things that make them feel empowered.
I'm not gonna let society dictate how I raise my kids. It is just not gonna happen.
We do not tolerate lying. They get a warning the first time. The second, they have to write down, I will not do X, Y, and Z 150 times in perfect handwriting. And the third time, they will get either a punishment or a spanking. I do not let my children hang out with other children often because I want them to be around me where I can monitor them and make sure that they're making good choices. My children have to do chores. They sweep and mop the floors. They're making up their bed and cleaning their room in addition to their daily extra chores. Lauren, look at me. Look at me. You can't put the pillow on there because it's not perfect yet. You need to make it all the same. So pull it through like so that it's all the same length all the way across. It's instilling hard work ethics in them. So a cluttered room is a cluttered mind.
Down, up, down.
Exercise, we do boot camps.
8, 9, 10.
And they set up their own obstacle courses and work each other out. I have my kids in this nice little bubble, and the bubble is my way of just protecting them. I think it's a form of child abuse to not parent your children, because then it's neglect. The child is missing out on opportunities to learn and grow. People think I'm sheltering my kids and causing them not to experience the outside world, but I'm setting them up for success.
I'm not necessarily judging this yet. I want more information about it. Well, what is your philosophy? Why did you choose this strategy versus some other?
This is how our military is structured. So therefore, it's about discipline. Because if that discipline is not enforced, then we're setting ourselves up to lose a war or lose a battle. So we want our kids to have that discipline so that they can win in life. But are you raising
children or soldiers?
We're raising children. And it's important that our children are disciplined like this, because if not, then they are definitely going to fail in life. Because everything based in life is based on discipline, goals, everything.
Let me ask you, you just made a very absolute statement. You said, if they don't get this discipline, this regimen that I'm on, they're definitely going to fail in life. I didn't have that, and I haven't failed yet. And I didn't have that, and I bet a lot of people here didn't have that regimen, and they didn't fail.
But there was still a form of discipline in there. Our discipline is based on my military experience. That worked. That worked. It's like kids are all out in the environment just doing their own thing.
But that was your job. And that, you said that's your military experience, so you become Sarge at home? If you had been a rodeo clown, would they all be running around with red noses?
Then they probably would, but they'd be disciplined rodeo clowns. Absolutely.
All right. Now, I want to go through a list of the behaviors that Sarge and Joy's children are banned from doing. Don't eat anything from a box or a can, no processed foods, no sugar, no caffeine, no drive-through fast food chains, not even for celebrations. Not allowed to befriend a child we don't know the parents of, no sweetened beverages, not allowed to go to social networking sites. No use of the internet for anything other than education. Can't talk on the phone to friends. Can't watch shows that talk about dating, sex, drugs, alcohol, or cursing. That's like no TV. Can't watch anything other than G-rated movies. Can't listen to inappropriate music. Can't play video games that deal with violence or shooting. Can't read books that deal with magicians, sorcery, witchcraft like Harry Potter. It just goes on and on. Are they going to be in shock when they get away from y'all and get into the world?
Absolutely not. They are both classified as gifted. They've been tested and they're gifted students, so above 4.0 GPAs. They are very friendly. They like to have fun. So it goes back to what I said a minute ago. If you're not parenting, you're choosing to go the lazy route.
I understand that you are a father and a mother, but are you ever just a mom and a dad? Because sometimes kids need a father, sometimes they need a dad. Sometimes they need a mother, and sometimes they need mommy.
I think we found a way to mix the two. To give you an example, if we're playing a card game, we're laughing, we're having fun. If they lose the card game, they do push-ups. So it's a good marriage.
Oh, man. You really?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, really.
Really? If they lose the card game, they do push-ups. Is that a punishment?
It's not a punishment because in real life, you can fail and it does hurt. There is pain associated with it. So it is mimicking real life.
Because Robin and I play cards, and when she loses, we play cards, and when she loses, she just calls me names.
I do not. I call you cheater.
All right. We're going to find out what happened in the car on the way to their son's first day of middle school when we come back.
we're in the minority. It's not like the majority of parents are doing that. It's no different than me having to constantly reinforce them saying, please, thank you, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Why is that difficult for us to constantly do? Because other parents are not doing their jobs, and it's making our jobs harder.
Absolutely.
Okay, I want to hear how Joy recently prepped her son, 7, for his first day of middle school with positive affirmations. Now, during the 15-minute car ride, I don't think she took a breath. Take a look.
So let's go ahead and say our positive affirmations. I'll start off. I believe you're going to have a phenomenal day. That's number one. It's a beautiful day. Your first day of middle school. The sun is shining. You're bright. You're going to make good choices. Your teachers are going to be very wise. They're going to help you to succeed in life. They're going to help take you to the next level. I'm excited about the fact that you're going to meet people from all walks of life. Your lunch is not going to drain you and make you tired or exhausted or wanting a nap. You're going to drink plenty of water and stay hydrated. You're going to give it your all in PE and make sure that you are really focusing on high endurance, high strength, high cardio. Really focus when you're in class. You're going to be highly, highly focused. You're not going to be distracted. You're going to be ahead of the game and focused on extra credit that you can do. And you're going to have an excellent day. What else? What else are you expecting today?
I don't know.
Oh. As you step back and look at that, how'd that work for you there? What'd you think about
Well, from the front of the seat, I thought I was jamming. But looking at it, I didn't see his facial reactions during our whole positive affirmation 15-minute
Yeah, well,
powwow.
we've got a pretty good look at this. Hey,
Yes.
this is...
However, I will interject this. I planted the right seeds. So I'm sure, because when I drove to school, there were no other mothers walking their kids into school. I walked my child into school. And I know that those other kids probably felt like they were just thrown out to the wolves. He felt inspired and motivated.
You didn't plant the right seeds. You planted 40 acres of seeds. But did he feel that he had his mom and had his back, or did he walk down that hall going, oh my God, my mother is walking me to school. Why don't you just put a kick me sign on my back?
See, I don't agree with that. I don't agree that he felt, you know,
I'm just asking.
One thing
asking.
about me is that I wish that I was raised by a single parent, and so I wish my mother could have walked me into school.
How'd it go when you walked him into school? Be honest.
Well, he was a little intimidated by that. He was uncomfortable. However, at the same time, it was only because what we're doing, we're in the minority. It's not like the majority of parents are doing that. It's no different than me having to constantly reinforce them saying, please, thank you, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Why is that difficult for us to constantly do? Because other parents are not doing their jobs, and it's making our jobs harder.
Absolutely.
I think the goal of all discipline is that it ultimately become internalized. You know, you tell your child, eat your peas before you eat your cake, and you hope eventually they'll tell themselves, eat this before you eat that. Now, Joy's sister, Shauna, is here, and she believes that her sister and brother-in-law's parenting style will eventually cause her kids to feel like outcasts because they're so different from others. What do you say about this? Do you think they're going over the top?
I think this is crazy town.
Yeah.
Okay? This is way too much. First of all, let me say this. My niece and nephew are awesome. I mean, these are phenomenal kids. They are extremely intelligent. They have great personalities. But my concern is, okay, we all leave home, we grow up at home, and then we leave home, and guess what? We have to interact with the real world. And in the real world, there's not these rules, like you can't read Harry Potter. Like, what is that? There's a whole big world out there, and my niece and nephew won't know how to live in it.
I think you guys are way too extreme in this. But God bless you for being involved in your children's life and caring about them. You know, that's great. seriously, there's no but on the end of that. God bless you for being involved and caring about your children. What I want you to think about is that our job as parents, in my view, is described as preparing them for the next level and preparing them to survive if, God forbid, something were to happen to y'all.
We both were raised by single moms, and with that, everything that we've created in our fitness and nutrition company, we've built from the ground up on our own, and it was through hard knocks. And we do want to give our children an opportunity to grow up with an understanding of hard work and discipline and focus and what it can afford you in life. We created our lives. It was not handed to us.
Okay, but sometimes an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old, an 11-year-old needs to be allowed to be 8, 10, and 11. They need to just be...
But, I mean, what is that? I mean, you got 8, 10, 11-year-olds that are...
Well, I'll tell you what it is.
Doing a lot of stuff.
There are certain developmental benchmarks that children hit, and their brains aren't through growing until they're in their mid-20s. And so they're not going to think and act like you. Sometimes they need to be silly. I'm just talking about balance. Just consider it, okay? Just consider it. All right, next we're going to meet a mom who feels passionately about her controversial decision to allow her son to wear dresses.
Here's my favorite dress. My second favorite dress. Third favorite dress is this.
He's just a kid like any other kid. He just likes to do it in a dress. Big deal.
Cheryl made headlines when she decided to embark on her own unconventional parenting journey with her decision to allow her 5-year-old son to wear dresses, sparkles, and jewelry. Take a look.
I'm a princess boy, and I love wearing dresses, and I love the colors of pink and red. I'm a princess in a castle.
For little Dyson, now 5, this is part of his everyday play. But for his mom, Cheryl Killa-Davis, it took some getting used to.
My initial reactions was to redirect, play with the truck, or read certain books.
When Dyson wanted to be a princess for Halloween, Cheryl initially resisted, but soon changed her mind.
My older son, Kobe, said, "Mom, why can't you just let him be happy?" And at that moment, I knew that this was more my issue. And if Kobe could be a ninja, why couldn't he be a princess?
Since then, they've allowed their youngest son to explore his interest in all things dressy and sparkly.
He's not contagious. He's just a kid like any other kid.
All of the people who are emailing me from all over the country and all over internationally as well, were saying, "I'm so glad I'm not alone."
Thanks for being here. This is your book, My Princess Boy.
Correct.
And I actually love this book, and I think you did a really good job. And I was talking about talking to kids in age-appropriate ways. I thought this was really an age-appropriate way to communicate this message of acceptance.
Thank you.
And it's well done. Y'all can kind of see it. It's illustrated. It's for kids. What do you think the main message of this book is?
Well, My Princess Boy really is a message about accepting differences.
So tell me about this decision that you've made, because he seemed this way from the beginning, right? I mean...
Almost 2 years old, he started displaying interests in things that were pink and sparkly and pretty things.
Okay, and how do you explain that? Why do you think he does this and the kid next to him doesn't? What's the mover on
my
this?
older son, I have an older son as well, so they're 3.5 years apart. So when we found out we were having another boy, I felt like we all do. I kind of had the road map for this. And he challenged some of that. And so I really did some journaling and worked with some psychologists and psychiatrists on how to really take this forward. And the verdict was I had a healthy and happy little boy, and not to over-encourage it, but not to over-discourage it. Really be a sanctuary in the home and support and love our child for who he is. My Princess Boy really stands for accepting differences. It's the child who was adopted. It's the overweight child in class. It's cultural differences. It's disabilities. It's people who feel and express themselves differently. And really whether we're 2 years old or 92 years old, we all want to be accepted for who we are. And so this is just a parenting thing of being able to not control him completely, but guide him to be the best that he can be.
Well, you must live in a more accepting world than I do, because I can't believe that 90% of people, particularly kids, who can be very cruel and very intolerant of differences, are accepting.
I don't think I live in an accepting world. I live in the same world you do. I'm human just like you are. I think the world that we live in is that there's a lot of parents out here who are saying what happened in 2010 with children taking their lives simply by being who they were, not being accepted for who they were. Parents and adults are saying this is an adult problem. Adults are modeling bullying behavior. We need to stop.
So where is he headed with this? Where is he headed with this at 10, 12, 15? What defined role do you think he'll choose?
It's a great question. I think, as I said before, I'm on this journey and process, and so is he. And I think as parents, we often try to figure out, when we find out we're pregnant, we find out, oh, well, this is the college he's going to go to, and here's what job he's going to do. Instead, I would say, let's meet us where we are. And right now, what I'm trying to do is support a 6-year-old boy who loves who he is, who is solid and secure, and has a family, friends, and a world that is saying, please accept him, and a world who's saying, yes, we will.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Here's my favorite dress. My second favorite dress. Third favorite dress is this. This is my summer dress.
Ooh.
You want me to wear it?
Sure.
Okay. If you don't like me in the dress, Dr. Phil, you're not my friend. Hi, Dr. Phil. You like me? Yeah. Here's my necklaces that I wanted to show you.
They look great.
See you later, Dr. Phil.
Do you consider this to be feminine behavior?
I consider it to be an expression, his expression, that is what we label as feminine behavior.
Okay, because see, that's my question, and I think I look at this differently than a lot of people sometimes, because to me, a G.I. Joe truck is only a boy toy because we've labeled it a boy toy.
That's right.
And pink is a girl color because we label it pink. And so, and I guess dresses, when you get to a certain point, because you realize there's a point at which he could just stop this overnight.
That's right.
Because when he gets to a point of being socially aware of sexual differences and gender differences, then he might just say, well, I'm not comfortable doing that anymore. That's for girls.
He may.
And he may not. You don't know.
And we will accept him either way. That's part of the journey.
And so your point is we'll meet him wherever he is. Now, I fully support you supporting your son doing what makes him feel right and him feel natural, so long as it's not at his expense or putting him in harm's way. I want to keep this in the American consciousness. You know, we've done a lot of shows here on bullying, and the most intense bullying that we see in our society right now are against those that have a difference. And you know, whether it's ethnic or they're lesbian, gay, or questioning youth, or whether they have a handicap of some sort. As you say, difference equals discomfort, and so people attack that.
That's right.
And so we've devoted a lot of our platform to saying, you know, let's not do that. We need to teach our kids that different is okay, and let's be inclusive.
And that's why the questions and the tools in this book say, here's a tool to start a conversation. There are questions that says, will you like me for who I am?
Yeah, and you know, in this, it's about this particular situation, my Princess Boy. but I told my producers yesterday or today, I think you should make this a series, and it shouldn't be just about this. It should be about handicapped. It should be about all differences, and I think it would be a great series to put in the school to teach kids in an age-appropriate way about acceptance and inclusion.
I appreciate that.
So I support you 100%.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll go right back. Okay, well, we've been talking about what some people would call unconventional parenting strategies. People always ask me, you know, Dr. Phil, how do you define normal? And, you know, there's a lot of ways to think about that. But for me, if something isn't disrupting your lifestyle and giving you a result that you don't want, then I tend to kind of lean towards the normal category. If it's disrupting your life, your health, your mental health, your relationships, those around you, then you have to ask yourself if that's really productive and normal. So I'm just saying to both of you, recognize there's a point at which they won't be with you. They'll be standing on their own in the world and leading their own family. Have you prepared them to do that? That's the key. I want to thank all of my guests today. Cheryl Killa-Davis, author of My Princess Boy, a mom story about a young boy who loves to dress up. Her book is in stores now. It will make you think when you read it. And everybody in the audience will take home a free copy today. Thanks for being here. So long. Goodbye. Thanks, John. See y'all. Take care.